You might think of oatmeal as the picture of health. A warm, comforting bowl that's been a breakfast staple for years, maybe even decades. In your home, we've all heard how good it is for our hearts, how it can help with digestion, and how it's a wonderful way to start the day with lasting energy. It's simple, versatile, and generally considered a powerhouse of nutrition, full of fiber and goodness. And for the most part, that's absolutely true. Oatmeal is fantastic. But what if I told you that, despite its healthy reputation, something you might be adding to your morning bowl could be completely undoing all that good? What if some seemingly innocent combinations are actually turning that bowl of health into something that works against you, leading to sugar crashes, digestive upset, or even hindering your body from absorbing the very nutrients you're trying to get? It's a frustrating thought, isn't it, that something you're doing with the best intentions might be causing you problems? It's like adding the wrong ingredient to a perfect recipe and ruining the whole dish. Except this is about your health and energy levels. It's a painful reality that sometimes the things we do out of habit, or because we think they're making healthy food taste better, are actually creating obstacles to feeling our best. But the good news is, once you know, you can make simple changes. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on 7 common foods that, when mixed with your healthy oatmeal, can turn its benefits on their head. We'll talk about why these combinations can be problematic and, more importantly, what simple swaps you can make instead to keep your oatmeal working for you. This isn't about giving up your favorite breakfast. It's about making it even better and truly unlocking its potential. So, let's dive in and uncover these surprising combinations. You might be using one or two of them right now without even realizing it. Understanding this can make a real difference in how you feel throughout the day, from your energy levels to your digestion. Make sure you watch all the way to the end, because I'll be sharing something that might really surprise you and change the way you think about your morning routine entirely. Let's get started and talk about the first thing many of us reach for to make that plain oatmeal taste a little more exciting, but which can cause some real issues. I'm talking about refined sugar or syrupy sweeteners. Now, I know, plain oatmeal can be a bit bland for some palates. It's tempting to stir in a spoonful or two of white sugar, or maybe drizzle on some maple syrup, corn syrup, or agave nectar. We do this to make it sweeter, more palatable, maybe bring back memories of childhood breakfasts, and a little bit of sweetness feels harmless. Right, especially when it's added to something as healthy as oatmeal. But here's the catch. Especially as we get a little older and our bodies process sugar differently, adding significant amounts of refined sugar or high fructose syrups creates a rapid spike in your blood sugar levels. When you eat plain oatmeal, the fiber in it helps to slow down the absorption of carbohydrates, leading to a gradual release of energy and keeping your blood sugar relatively stable. This is one of the key benefits of oatmeal: sustained energy and avoiding that dreaded sugar crash. However, when you dump in a load of sugar or syrup, you're essentially overriding that natural mechanism. The simple sugars hit your bloodstream quickly, causing a rapid rise in blood sugar. Your body responds by releasing a surge of insulin to bring it down. This roller coaster effect can leave you feeling energized for a very short time, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling tired, sluggish, and even craving more sugar. It's the exact opposite of the sustained energy oatmeal is supposed to provide. Think about it. You eat your sugary oatmeal for breakfast, feeling pretty good. An hour or two later, you might find yourself yawning, struggling to concentrate, or reaching for a snack because you feel your energy dipping. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. Repeated blood sugar spikes and crashes throughout the day can contribute to insulin resistance over time, which is a risk factor for type 2 diabetes. It can also negatively impact your mood and cognitive function. For someone trying to manage their blood sugar, or simply avoid those mid-morning slumps, adding refined sugar is counterproductive. It turns that healthy, fiber-rich meal into just another source of empty calories that throws your system out of whack. It's like buying a fuel-efficient car and then filling it with the lowest quality fuel. You're not getting the performance you paid for. The problem isn't just the calories, it's how your body handles that sudden influx of simple sugars. And those syrupy sweeteners like maple syrup or agave, while they might sound healthier than white sugar, are still concentrated sources of sugar and often cause a similar rapid blood sugar response, especially if you use a generous amount. They lack the fiber that would slow down sugar absorption in whole fruits. For instance, what's the simple swap here? There are wonderful ways to sweeten your oatmeal naturally without the negative side effects. Fresh or frozen berries are fantastic. They provide natural sweetness. Plus, they come with fiber and antioxidants, which further enhance the health benefits of your bowl. A mashed banana adds sweetness and creaminess. You can also add a touch of cinnamon or vanilla extract, which enhance the perception of sweetness without adding any sugar at all. A small amount of unsweetened applesauce or diced apple can also work wonders. The key is to get that sweetness from whole foods that bring their own nutritional value and don't cause that sharp blood sugar spike. Moving on from adding traditional sugars, some people turn to artificial sweeteners, thinking they're a better alternative because they contain 0 calories and don't affect blood sugar in the same way, immediately. You know the ones: saccharin, aspartame, sucralose, stevia, xylitol, and so on. They promise sweetness without the sugar penalty. And while it's true they don't add calories or cause that direct blood sugar spike that refined sugar does, they come with their own set of potential problems when mixed with a staple like oatmeal, which is often consumed daily. Research is increasingly suggesting that regular consumption of artificial sweeteners can negatively impact our gut microbiome, the trillions of beneficial bacteria living in our digestive system that are crucial for everything from digestion and nutrient absorption to immune function and even mood. Some studies indicate that artificial sweeteners can alter the balance of these bacteria, potentially favoring less beneficial strains. This disruption in the gut flora has been linked to various health issues, including digestive problems like bloating, gas, and altered bowel habits, and even, paradoxically, to metabolic issues over the long term. Furthermore, while they don't directly raise blood sugar, some artificial sweeteners can still trigger insulin release because your body anticipates sugar when it tastes sweetness. This can be confusing for your metabolic system over time. There's also the psychological aspect. Relying on intense artificial sweetness can maintain a preference for very sweet flavors, making less sweet, naturally healthy foods seem unappealing. So, you might find yourself needing more and more sweetness in your food, even from non-caloric sources. Adding artificial sweeteners to your oatmeal every morning might seem like a harmless way to enjoy sweetness, but it could be subtly undermining your gut health and potentially impacting your metabolism over time. It's a bit like trying to save money by using counterfeit currency. It seems like a shortcut, but it can lead to unforeseen problems down the road. Our bodies are complex, and these artificial compounds can interact with our systems in ways we don't fully understand yet. But the growing evidence points towards potential negative impacts, particularly on the delicate balance of our gut bacteria, which is so vital for overall health as we age. So, instead of reaching for those packets or drops of artificial sweetener, embrace the natural sweetness options we talked about: berries, bananas, apples, or perhaps even train your palate to enjoy the more subtle, earthy flavor of plain or lightly sweetened oatmeal using just spices like cinnamon or nutmeg. Your taste buds can adapt. It might take a week or two, but you might find you need less sweetness than you thought. Or you discover you really enjoy the natural flavors of the oats and healthy add-ins. Another common addition that many people see as healthy, but which can be problematic when used in excess with oatmeal, is dried fruit, raisins, cranberries, apricots, dates. They seem innocent enough, often pictured as healthy snacks, and in moderation. As part of a varied diet, they do contain fiber and some nutrients. But when you add a generous handful of dried fruit to your oatmeal, you're adding a very concentrated source of sugar. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, which shrinks the fruit and concentrates its sugars and calories. A small handful of raisins might contain the sugar equivalent of a much larger portion of fresh grapes. Because they are small and chewy, it's very easy to eat a lot more dried fruit than you would fresh fruit. This means you're adding a significant sugar load to your oatmeal, often much more than you realize, without the volume of water that would make you feel full from eating the fresh version. Just like refined sugar, this concentrated dose of sugar from dried fruit can lead to a sharper blood sugar spike than eating whole, fresh fruit, while dried fruit does contain fiber, which helps somewhat. It's often not enough to completely counteract the high sugar concentration, especially compared to fresh fruit. If you're sprinkling a liberal amount of dried cranberries, which are often sweetened even further, or shoveling in dates, you're essentially turning your oatmeal into a high-sugar meal, potentially leading to that same energy roller coaster and contributing to excess calorie intake without providing significant volume or satiety. Think about a quarter cup of raisins. It contains about 100 calories and 20 grams of sugar. Compare that to a whole cup of fresh strawberries, which is only about 50 calories and 8 grams of sugar, plus more water content to fill you up. It's easy to sprinkle a quarter cup or more of raisins into your oatmeal without thinking twice. So, the toxic effect here isn't poison, but rather the potential for a significant sugar overload that undermines the steady energy benefits of oatmeal and contributes excess calories from sugar. It's particularly important to be mindful of this if you're managing blood sugar, watching your weight, or simply trying to avoid unnecessary sugar in your diet. The simple swap. Again, fresh or frozen fruit is your best friend. Berries are low in sugar and high in antioxidants. Sliced banana adds creamy sweetness. Diced apple or pear softens beautifully when stirred in during the last minute of cooking or added raw. If you really love the chewiness of dried fruit, use a very small amount, perhaps just a sprinkle for flavor, rather than making it a main ingredient. Combining it with healthy fats like nuts or seeds can also help slow down sugar absorption. But don't rely solely on dried fruit for sweetness or bulk in your oatmeal. Choosing fresh fruit provides more volume, more water, and often fewer calories and less concentrated sugar per serving, making your oatmeal bowl truly beneficial and balanced. Now that we've talked about some of the sugary culprits that can mess with your oatmeal's goodness, let's move on to other types of additions that might seem harmless, but can also create problems. One common thing people add, especially for richness or creaminess, is high-fat dairy or excessive amounts of certain fats. I'm talking about things like stirring in a pat of butter, a dollop of heavy cream, or even using a very large amount of full-fat milk or coconut milk as the cooking liquid instead of just water, or a smaller amount of lower-fat milk. A little bit of healthy fat in your meal is absolutely fine and can even be beneficial, helping with satiety and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. But when you add excessive amounts of saturated fats to your oatmeal, it can significantly increase the calorie density of the meal without adding much nutritional bulk from things like fiber or protein. For example, stirring in a tablespoon of butter adds over 100 calories and a good dose of saturated fat. While our bodies need some fat, consuming large amounts of saturated fat regularly, especially when it's just added calories without much other nutrition, isn't the best for heart health over time. Beyond the calorie and fat content, adding excessive fat can also slow down digestion considerably. While this can be good in moderation to help you feel full, too much can lead to a feeling of heaviness, bloating, or even indigestion for some people. Oatmeal is generally easy on the stomach, but pairing it with a large amount of heavy cream or butter can make it sit like a brick, especially if your digestive system is a little more sensitive as you get older. It changes the metabolic response to the meal. Instead of a steady release of energy from the complex carbs in oats, you get a slower, potentially more sluggish digestive process. Coupled with the empty calories from the added fat, it's not that fats are bad. Healthy fats from nuts, seeds, or avocado, though avocado in oatmeal might not appeal to everyone, are great. The issue here is the type and amount of added fat, particularly saturated or highly processed fats like butter or cream. When used excessively in a dish where the primary benefit comes from the complex carbohydrates and fiber, it's about balance and ensuring the additions complement, rather than detract from, the main ingredient's benefits. So, instead of loading up on butter or cream, if you want creaminess, consider using a smaller amount of milk dairy or unsweetened plant-based to cook the oats, or stirring in a spoonful of Greek yogurt, which also adds protein, or a moderate amount of a healthy nut butter for richness and protein. A sprinkle of chia seeds or flax seeds will also add healthy fats and fiber, creating a nice texture without the heavy feeling of saturated fats. It's about getting that desired texture and flavor through additions that bring their own nutritional benefits, rather than just empty calories and potential digestive discomfort. Next up is something that might surprise you because it often comes marketed as a convenient way to enjoy oatmeal: the pre-packaged flavored oatmeal packets. These seem incredibly simple. Just add hot water, stir, and you have breakfast. They come in enticing flavors like maple and brown sugar, apples and cinnamon, or peaches and cream. However, the convenience comes at a significant cost to the nutritional quality of your oatmeal. The main issue with most of these flavored packets is the ingredient list. While they do contain oats, they also contain a surprising amount of added sugar, artificial flavorings, artificial colors, and sometimes preservatives. The sugar content alone in one small packet can rival that of a candy bar, often listed as the second or third ingredient. For example, a single packet of a popular maple and brown sugar variety can contain 12 grams or more of added sugar. Eating several of these packets, as some people do for breakfast, means you're starting your day with a huge sugar load. This goes back to the blood sugar spike issue we discussed earlier with refined sugar and syrups. But it's often worse because of the sheer quantity of sugar packed into a small serving. Plus, you're consuming artificial ingredients that offer no nutritional value and, as we touched on with artificial sweeteners, may have negative impacts on your gut health and overall system over time. These packets strip away the natural goodness of plain oats and replace it with a cocktail of sugar and chemicals. It turns a whole food, fiber-rich breakfast into a highly processed, sugary treat that masquerades as health food. The appeal of these packets is speed and flavor, but you can achieve both with regular rolled or steel-cut oats and natural additions. Cooking plain oats on the stovetop or in the microwave only takes a few minutes. You can then add cinnamon and a tiny drizzle of maple syrup, much less than what's in the packet, or fresh fruit, or a sprinkle of nuts for flavor and sweetness. Making your own oatmeal this way gives you complete control over the ingredients, allowing you to avoid the excessive sugar and artificial additives. Relying on these pre-packaged options is like buying a car with a fancy paint job but a rusty engine. It looks appealing on the surface, but the core is compromised. For your health, especially as you get older, choosing whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible is key. Opting for plain oats and flavoring them yourself ensures you're getting the full benefits of the grain without the hidden downsides of processed ingredients. Moving right along, let's talk about adding something to your oatmeal that is clearly a treat. But sometimes people justify it by saying it's just a little bit for flavor. I'm talking about chocolate chips, candy pieces, or other sugary confections. Sometimes people sprinkle a few chocolate chips in their warm oatmeal to melt, or perhaps add mini marshmallows or bits of candy for sweetness and texture. While a tiny amount as an occasional treat might not be the end of the world, making it a regular habit, or adding a significant quantity, simply negates the health benefits you're trying to get from the oatmeal. Chocolate chips are primarily sugar and fat, offering very little in terms of fiber, vitamins, or minerals compared to their calorie count. Candy pieces are pure sugar and artificial ingredients. Adding these is like adding dessert toppings to your breakfast. This addition is problematic for all the reasons we've already discussed regarding blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, promoting sugar cravings, and adding empty calories. It turns your healthy breakfast into a dessert in a bowl. If you're trying to manage your weight, keep your blood sugar stable, or simply fuel your body with nutritious food, Adding candy to your oatmeal is counterproductive. It's a classic example of mixing a truly healthy food with junk food and ending up with something that leans much closer to the junk food end of the spectrum in terms of its metabolic impact. It's like trying to make a healthy salad and then pouring half a bottle of sugary dressing on it. The base is healthy, but the additions ruin it. If you have a sweet tooth, there are much healthier ways to satisfy it within your oatmeal. Instead of chocolate chips or candy, if you want a chocolatey flavor, stir in a spoonful of unsweetened cocoa powder. It provides rich flavor and even some antioxidants without the sugar. Sweeten it naturally with fruit. If it's a treat you're after, enjoy it separately, mindfully, and occasionally, rather than embedding it within your daily healthy breakfast, where it dilutes the benefits and establishes a habit of adding pure sugar to your meal. Your oatmeal should set you up for a day of stable energy and good nutrition, not kickstart it with a sugar rush that leads to a slump. Another common pitfall involves dairy, but not just the fat content. Sometimes people add large amounts of sugary yogurts or use sweetened plant-based milks when cooking their oatmeal, thinking they are making a healthy choice. Yogurt can be a great addition, providing protein and probiotics if it's live and active culture yogurt. Plant milks can be a good alternative to dairy, but many commercially available yogurts, especially flavored ones, and many plant-based milks contain a significant amount of added sugar. Check the nutrition labels. A small container of flavored yogurt can easily have 15 to 20 grams of sugar or more, much of which is added sugar beyond the natural sugars in milk. Similarly, sweetened almond milk, soy milk, or oat milk can contain several grams of added sugar per serving. Using these to cook your oatmeal or stirring a large spoonful of sugary yogurt into it is another sneaky way to add a lot of sugar to your seemingly healthy breakfast. This added sugar contributes to the same blood sugar issues we've been discussing. It also adds unnecessary calories without providing the fullness or nutritional punch of fiber or protein you get from other sources. It's easy to overlook the sugar in liquids or creamy additions, assuming they are just adding flavor or texture, but they can be significant contributors to your daily sugar intake. For example, using a cup of sweetened almond milk to cook your oats could add 7 to 8 grams of sugar right there. Even before you add any toppings, stirring in a small container of vanilla yogurt might add another 15 grams. Suddenly, your bowl of oatmeal has over 20 grams of added sugar, equivalent to many sugary snacks. The healthier swap is simple: choose plain, unsweetened yogurt like Greek yogurt for extra protein, or unsweetened varieties of plant-based milks. You can then add your own natural sweetness with fruit or spices. This gives you the creamy texture or the liquid needed for cooking without the hidden sugar load. Plain yogurt, for instance, pairs wonderfully with berries and oatmeal. Unsweetened almond or soy milk cooks oats just fine. Read labels carefully. Sugar hides under many names. Opting for unsweetened versions of these products is a simple but effective way to reduce your sugar intake significantly and keep your oatmeal a genuinely healthy meal. Finally, let's talk about something that's very healthy in moderation, but adding too much can ironically cause digestive discomfort for some when combined with the fiber in oatmeal. I'm referring to adding excessive amounts of certain high-fiber seeds or nuts, especially if you're not used to a high-fiber diet. Seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds, and nuts like almonds or walnuts are incredibly nutritious, providing fiber, healthy fats, and protein. Adding a sprinkle is great. However, if you suddenly start adding very large amounts, say, multiple tablespoons of chia seeds, ground flaxseed, and a huge handful of nuts all at once, combined with the already significant fiber content of oatmeal, it can be a shock to your digestive system, especially if you're not drinking enough water throughout the day. A sudden increase in fiber can lead to gas, bloating, and discomfort. While fiber is essential, adding too much too quickly, particularly from concentrated sources, can overwhelm your system. For some people, adding too much fat from nuts and seeds alongside the fiber can also slow digestion down perhaps more than is comfortable, leading to a feeling of being overly full or sluggish after eating. The toxic aspect here isn't harm in the traditional sense, but potential discomfort and digestive upset that makes your otherwise healthy breakfast feel unpleasant. It's about finding the right balance for your body. The simple solution is moderation and gradual introduction. Start with a small sprinkle of seeds or a small handful of nuts. See how your body responds. Gradually increase the amount if you wish, paying attention to how you feel. Make sure you're also drinking plenty of water throughout the day, as fiber needs water to move through your digestive system effectively. Grinding seeds like flaxseed can make their nutrients more available and might be easier on digestion for some. Nuts and seeds are wonderful additions for nutrients and healthy fats. But like everything else, the amount matters. A balanced approach is key to getting their benefits without the discomfort. So, we've covered quite a few common additions to oatmeal that, while seemingly innocent or even healthy on the surface, can actually undermine the fantastic benefits of this simple grain. We talked about how refined sugar and syrups cause those unwanted blood sugar spikes and crashes, turning a steady fuel source into a metabolic roller coaster. We looked at artificial sweeteners and the growing concerns about their impact on our vital gut bacteria. We explored how excessive dried fruit packs a surprising sugar punch, often more than we realize, negating the slow-release energy of oats. Then we delved into how adding too much high-fat dairy or other concentrated fats can make your oatmeal heavy and potentially contribute unhealthy fats to your diet, slowing down digestion excessively for some. We uncovered the hidden sugars and artificial ingredients lurking in convenient pre-packaged flavored oatmeal packets. We discussed how adding pure treats like chocolate chips or candy simply turns your healthy start into dessert, defeating the purpose entirely. And finally, we touched upon the sneaky sugars often found in flavored yogurts and sweetened plant milks, adding unnecessary sweetness without you even realizing it, and how even too much of a good thing like seeds or nuts, if added excessively or too quickly, can cause digestive distress. It might seem like a lot to consider, especially if some of these are things you do regularly. But please, don't feel overwhelmed or discouraged. The wonderful thing is that making small changes can have a significant impact. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start with one or two of these points that resonate most with you. Maybe it's swapping out the sugary yogurt for plain. Maybe it's trying fresh berries instead of raisins. Perhaps it's simply reducing the amount of sugar or syrup you stir in. Remember, oatmeal itself is a nutritional superstar. It's packed with soluble fiber, which is fantastic for lowering cholesterol and keeping you feeling full. It provides sustained energy. It's a whole grain, full of vitamins and minerals. The goal isn't to stop eating oatmeal. It's to make sure that what you add to it enhances its goodness, rather than diminishes it or causes you problems. Think of your bowl of oatmeal as a wonderful canvas, and the additions you choose as the colors you paint with. You want colors that complement and build upon the foundation, not ones that muddy the picture. By choosing natural sweeteners like fruit, healthy fats in moderation, and avoiding processed ingredients and excessive added sugars, you are truly allowing the oatmeal to shine and provide you with the steady energy and health benefits it's meant to. Making these mindful choices about your breakfast is a powerful step towards feeling more energetic, managing your blood sugar better, supporting healthy digestion, and simply feeling your best as you go about your day. It's about honoring your body and giving it the fuel it deserves. These simple adjustments are not about restriction. They are about choosing better options that nourish you more deeply. It's about shifting from habits that might be holding you back to habits that propel you forward in your health journey. We've all been there, adding things to our food without really thinking about the combined effect. But now you know. You have the knowledge to make informed choices, and that's incredibly empowering. Every small step you take towards more mindful eating is a victory for your health and well-being. It shows you are taking care of yourself, and that is something to be truly proud of. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Were any of these combinations a surprise to you? What do you usually add to your oatmeal? Are you planning to try any of the healthier swaps we discussed? Sharing your experiences and ideas in the comments below not only helps me, but it also helps everyone else in this community who is on a similar journey towards healthier living. We can learn so much from each other. If you found this video helpful and empowering, please give it a thumbs up. That lets me know I'm providing content that matters to you. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos packed with practical tips and insights for living your best life at every age. We're on this journey together. Thank you so much for watching and for investing this time in your health. Remember, small changes can make a world of difference in how you feel every single day. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making choices that support your well-being. Live your best life at every age.